Hello everyone, this is Madhvi, and our today's topic is when life seems meaningless, what to do? Yeah, we have to read Camus philosophy, and this is our today's philosopher for discussion. We are going to talk about Albert Camus' philosophy and how we can bring meaning to our life when it seems meaningless. So, we very well know that all human beings seem to crave meaning. They even search for it, even they create it. And for creating it, we are making stories in our lives that can give us meaning. We are trying to give explanation for this entire universe. We are trying to explain each and everything with examples, with personal stories, and with life experiences. But what happens? Do we find meaning? No, not at all. It is not at all possible that we find meaning, and therefore we must read Albert Camus' philosophy and discover more on how to find out the meaning by examining the life's inherent meaninglessness. Let us move further. First of all, we need to understand absurdism. For understanding absurdism, we have to contemplate on Albert Camus' ideas. Now, absurdity first of all, it's a very kind of negative or doomed philosophy. So whenever we hear this word absurdities, we think that it is something which is pointless, which is very negative, and absurd is something which is very conflicting, and we are not able to escape it as a human. But it is not so, and that is what Albert Camus is trying to show us here, that it is not that we cannot come out of absurdism. It is just that we have to develop the sense of meaning in our life. So let us see absurdism. So absurdism, a chaotic universe. So this human, we all humans exist in a purposeless, chaotic universe that defies meaning. The more we try to find out the meaning, the more we we get lost and we are not able to find the answers. We look for the answers uh, in the world around, but the world remains silent. Therefore, there is a conflict of meaning. So you can see here, human desires for meaning, and the universe remains silent and indifferent, and therefore it is always a conflict. So when there is this conflict, what we have to do? So what is this Camus' philosophical stance? Camus emphasizes the importance of confronting the absurd. So wherever there is a meaningless situation, wherever we are not able to find the meaning, wherever we are just getting kind of influenced by the thoughts of others, or maybe the thoughts of religion, thoughts of science, art, and other things, then what we need to do? We need to confront the absurd. We need to confront the absurd so that we can act genuinely and we can avoid the superficial attitudes, and that is what Camus' philosophical stance is. So whenever there is this kind of conflict and there is a confrontation with absurd, then only you have to develop, or you can develop, a conscious awareness. Whenever there is a conscious awareness of our action, then only we can develop a deep meaning for our life. So it is not like that you have to escape from the idea of finding the meaning. Finding the meaning is like a free will, like it's your free choice. But most people will again argue that there is no free will and you have to just go on with whatever the society is projecting to you. You have to do this, you have to do that, because this is a rule, because somebody has said this. But if you are finding it challenging, if you finding it not so kind of good in doing so, then what shall we do? So here we see the absurdism. Now let us see about who is Albert Camus and what was his life and ideas. So the early life in Algeria. He was born in 1913. Camus' Algerian roots shaped his worldview. So he was greatly influenced by World War II, and his experiences and the French resistance molded his philosophy. His major works, when you see, is like The Stranger and the Myth of Sisyphus, and he was also awarded the Nobel Prize in 1957 for literature and thought. And he is very much popular for philosophy of absurdity, where he has focused on moral value and action amidst absurdity. So whenever there is an absurd kind of situation, you can always rely on the moral values. Okay, so yeah, so we were even discussing about existentialism in our last video, and we see that this absurdism and existentialism are very closely related. So much so that Albert Camus is himself is like, he's even called as an existentialist, but he has never claimed to be existentialist, because these two philosophies looks like same, where human beings are trying to find out the deeper meaning in the life, but the universe provides no answer. But exactly the two philosophies are not same, because here this absurdism of Albert Camus, here these philosophers related to absurdism, they strongly, they have not accepted the validity of religions, and they have also denied the pseudo religious philosophies like nationalism or Marxism and all these philosophies. But they have always concentrated on one thing, that how can we live with this meaninglessness, because we see that everywhere in the life we can see the purposeless less state, where we are not able to find the meaning. So when we talk about existentialism, it is it is kind of accepting the idea of free will. Existentialists, they believe that even though universe is meaningless, human beings have freedom. They can exercise their meaningfulness of life by the freedom and their choice. So the universe may sound meaningless, but with our free to make choices, we can give meaning to the life. That is what existentialism is about. Existentialism gives us hope to this extremely black kind of world. So absurdism, existentialism is a kind of philosophy which is a kind of hopeful philosophy, but absurdism, these are not the same. Absurdists, they kind of deny the existence of free will, and they claim that it is just one more sad fiction invented by human beings to avoid the despair. So absurdists, they kind of take two kind of routes that I'm going to explain right now, but let us see further what is given on this slide. So absurdism, when we talk about absurdism, we have to as an absurdist, we have to confront this phenomena or this phase of absurd. So human desires for meaning clashes with universe indifference, and then we have to confront it. Now Camus' philosophical question. So Camus asks if life is worth living, and he highlighted the existential dilemma. So third is lack of inherent meaning. So individuals must face existential limits due to life's lack of meaning, and absurdity suggests seeking personal meaning through action. So whenever there is a lack of meaning, you can find out the personal meaning, and this only reflects the personal growth and the personal development. Let us look further. So basically this we have covered, so we will move further. Yeah, so this is a very important topic, the philosophy of suicide. So let us start. So Camus believes contemplating suicide is the initial philosophical act, the first philosophical act. Second is ultimate question of meaning. Choosing to live or die presents the ultimate existential question. So whenever your life is bringing trouble, bringing dilemma, then you can always have two kind of questions, either to live or to die. This kind of questions are existential questions come in our mind, but what we have to do next? Let us see. Living without meaning. Camus suggests living fully even if life lacks inherent meaning. So Camus is trying to be very positive in a situation where life is not so much of positive. So there we have to find the meaning in life where the life is not so meaningful. There we have to live fully. And he has also given an example of Sisyphus. Sisyphus, who is he? He's trying to uh, this move this boulder ahead at the top of the mountain. So he is struggling a lot, he is putting a lot of pressure, he is facing a lot of hard work. Once he was able to complete his target by pushing the boulder to the extreme end of the mountain, then what happens? Due to the gravity, that boulder again falls down. So that's very sad. So much of difficulty this Sisyphus has faced in moving the boulders up, but the situation has turned upside down. Now, in this situation, what should be done? Should Sisyphus think about living or dying option? Should he contemplate about suicide? Or should he live fully as a happy person that he has at least completed his task? Doesn't matter about the result, but he has completed his task. So Albert Camus is focusing on the third option, where we have to live fully even if life lacks inherent meaning. The fourth option is refusal to confront absurd. So suicide is seen as avoiding the challenge of facing the absurd. So this is a very important point. The fact that suicide is often being chosen by people who have lost their way, but according to Albert Camus, suicide is like avoiding the challenge of facing the absurd. That means you have to face this absurd situation. Whenever there is no meaning in life and you are just blank, so this kind of situation you have to at least face it. You have to at least try to find out the inherent meaning in it. So whenever there is such kind of situation, you have to understand through struggle. And struggling with absurdity, it increases our understanding about existence. So absurdists, they talk about important methods. So we have also covered about the leap of faith. What is this leap of faith? It's a leap of faith means ultimately you are taking a kind of path which is based on the acceptance of whatever the things are projected to you. So the two paths are very important, the leap of faith and the acceptance of absurdity. So although absurdism starts off from a complete denial of religion, it doesn't necessarily end up there. So here we saw that you have to accept the challenges, you have to accept that absurd situation. So it also reflects a kind of leap of faith, not exactly the same, but it's a kind of acceptance, and that is what Albert Camus is talking about. So the acceptance of absurdity. So if religion still doesn't seem like an acceptable option, we can always decide to make our peace with the absurdity of the universe. So if the leap of faith is not working with us, then obviously we can face the absurdity of the universe and we can try to find out the source of happiness that doesn't involve the need for meaning. Yeah, that's a very important point. Even if you're not able to find out the meaning in life, the meaning in what you're doing, but if you're able to find out the happiness in it, at least in some percentage, then obviously you are making your life meaningful and happy. It is like a little sick thing. If we talk about a person who is learning to accept the long-term illness and being okay about it, but if he is in that situation where he is not okay but still is finding out the happiness in it in some or the other way, maybe the care received by his family or the friends, then of course his life will be very much good. And that is what Albert Camus is talking about, that understanding through struggle. Let us move further. the feeling of absurdity. We know how does it feel to be absurd. So it's a kind of disconnection between expectations and reality. So Camus' perspective is there should be a moment of clarity where the boring tasks become the extraordinary. Let us move towards a key quote. So, at the heart of all beauty lies something inhuman. At the heart of all beauty lies something inhuman. So, everywhere finding out the meaning is not important. You should be very much content with whatever things you are receiving. So, importance for consciousness. This also reflects essential for awakening consciousness and existential inquiry and acceptance of chaos. So, absurd man finds freedom in life's inherent chaos. That is the most important point given by Camus. So, I hope I have made it clear what does it mean to be absurd and why the philosophical suicide is not a right option. And absurdity does also mean that inherent lack of meaning and finding out the happiness in it. So, let us move further. Revolt against the absurd. Now, revolt could be a very good response, and Camus has advocated this revolt as a defiance against life's absurdity. This also involves living fully and authentically. So, choose to live a fully good life despite life's lack of meaning. Then comes restoring human dignity. So it focuses on action over resignation, which restore dignity. That I already talked about, that you have to choose happiness instead of meaning. So it's a kind of happy philosophy that Albert Camus is talking about. So you have to restore human dignity. Then the absurd hero like Sisyphus finds meaning through struggle and perseverance. So whenever we just assume or we just see that Sisyphus is happy, then we see that happiness matters and the meaning does not really matters. So we have to imagine Sisyphus happy, and we have to accept the life's absurdity, and we have to find happiness in struggle. So there is a freedom in an absurd world where you are creating the meaning. So whenever you are identifying the absurd, it allows you to towards a freedom to create personal meaning. And other thing is that you can live authentically. So freedom is coming with the responsibility to live authentically, and it is also defining the existence, the ultimate purpose, the ultimate goal, and it accepts the transience. So life's transience and death, it's a part of true freedom. So whenever the death is coming up, you should not just wait for the death, but instead you should enjoy the life, the moment, and all the things that you have been given by the faith of God. Now, defining existence. So individual is defining their own existence, and you have to engage consciously. So true freedom involves conscious engagement with life's absurdities. So this was the point. Now, absurd man's life's insight. This is very much important for personal development, the personal growth. First thing, confront human limitation. Acknowledge and address the inherent limitation in human existence. The first thing, we are not perfect, just confront it. Second thing, reject illusion. So like false hope, just dismiss it and accept the life's inherent absurdity. Third point, personal meaning through reflection. So find the meaning by conscious reflection and active engagement. Fourth thing, build resilience. Now develop strength to manage life's uncertainties and challenges. Fifth point, continuous self-discovery. So maintain a journey of ongoing questioning and self-exploration. when we talk about themes in this Camus literature, we can see that it is an existential inquiry which explores a search for meaning in a seemingly meaningless world. Then it is also a revolt which defines against absurdity, which emphasizes human agency. Then there is a freedom, so liberation in recognizing life's absurdity and creating meaning. Then there is isolation, struggle against the collective indifference of the universe. And then there is death, inevitability of death shaping human experience. These are the themes in Camus' literature. Now, personal development, as I said earlier, live fully through absurdism. Confront absurdity with courage. Camus encourages facing life's absurdity with courage and integrity. Second point, live authentically and fully. Embrace the absurd to live fully despite challenges. Third thing, freedom and discovery. Absurdism offers personal freedom and self-discovery. Fourth, find meaning in living. Live passionately and find meaning in the act of living. Fifth, joy in the struggle. Live to the fullest, embrace chaos, find joy in the struggle. So I would like to conclude with this very important quotation by Albert Camus, and I hope that you are enjoying this content. So please don't forget to like and subscribe this video, and for more details you can also visit our website, that is www.philotreat.com. So let me end this presentation with Albert Camus quote. So man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is. I would leave this quote up to you for your reflection and contemplation. Thank you so much for watching this video.